What's going on, everybody? It is Brendan. Welcome back to Dad Planet. Listen, when the weather gets nice like this in Columbus, Ohio, you got to get outside. So I'm doing the intro outside today, but I'm taking you to two spots here. We're going to go to the bins, do a little sourcing. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to pick up a buddy, and we're going to head to a retail store, see if I can find anything to flip on eBay. I'm taking you guys along for the ride. Let's do this. Hard to do anything indoors when it is as beautiful as it is. Just 30 degrees a couple of days ago, and now it's like mid 80s. So we're headed into the bins. Another trip. You just never know what you're going to find. And I end up finding some decent stuff. So this first thing here, this is the Circleville Pumpkin Show trucker hat. Now, this is a local thing to me. It's pretty popular every year, and this hat is like in pretty beat up condition. It's probably only going to get me $15, but it probably will sell eventually. There's a comp listed that's in better condition for $40, but it's why I always say know your local market, because those things do end up selling, and I might have to clean that up a little bit, but there is still a market for people that want hats like that in that condition. So right off the bat, I'm happy with that because I think eventually it will sell. It might not sell right away, but it definitely will sell. A pair of tequila socks, those were kind of cool. I don't end up keeping those, but let's just say $15 on the Circleville Pumpkin Show hat to start off. Here I find a pair of True Religion shorts. Now the model on this is Samuel. They look like a size 36 there, and they're yellow. Now there are some listed comps. The actual like list to sell ratio is pretty bad. But there is a listed comp for around $80 brand new. Mine are a little bit more distressed than that listed comp, but I have to believe, because of the brand and because of the style, that I can get $30 for those once I get them photographed. But I was actually surprised that the list to sell ratio wasn't better than it should have been, or at least should have been in my eyes. So that was kind of disappointing, but again, I think I can still get $30 for those pair of shorts. So True Religion is still a Bolo brand. I mean, there are certain items that will sell better than others, so keep your eye out for it. Here's a Boondock Saints shirt. Now, I didn't check the size on this one, but when I was going through the sold comps, I did notice the exact same style shirt has recently sold for $20. There were a couple of them, a new and a pre-owned one that sold for $20. I'm going to be probably aggressive with mine and put mine at $15 because that movie still has a following, and that style obviously has sold in the past. So that's enough for me. The shirt's only going to cost me 40 to 50 cents. So I'm okay taking that home. And for those of you that are new to me, I'm local to Columbus, Ohio. So I see a lot of Ohio State gear. Some of it has value, a lot of it does not. So I pass up on a good number of Ohio State pieces of apparel just because I see so much of it. Now here's an interesting shirt. So Google DeepMind is like their artificial intelligence wing. It's headquartered in London, but they have a research center here in the United States. I think they also have one in Canada. For sold comps, there are none, but this was a really unique find for me. And so I see a t-shirt listed for $18. I'm gonna keep that one, and I think maybe list that for $30 just because I've never seen it before. It's underrepresented, and artificial intelligence, whether we like it or not, is the way of the future. So I feel like somebody will want to take a stab on that one once it is photographed and listed. But that was a cool find, very different, something I don't normally see. I don't know what Red Ale is. I don't know if that's a Bolo brand or not. Please let me know if it is. This, however, is a Bolo for sure. So I'm going to try to pronounce this. Tejidos Rumenahui. Anyway, it's a wool sweater. I did my best. And the list to sell ratio on these are pretty good. So I have one, and you can see it's obviously a red color here, and we're way out of season for this, but it has llamas on the front, and the list to sell ratio, not terrible. Like, this looks like a pretty desirable piece of clothing. So even though we're approaching like the summer hot months, I'm going to keep this because it's a brand that I've never sold before. And so I kind of have to know, like, even if it sells 5-6 months down the road, I'm buying it at the bin. So I may have passed it up in a retail store if it was like $8, $9, $10. But here, where it's only a couple bucks, I'm definitely willing to take a stab on it. And I think that that's like a strategy that a lot of people could follow when they're at the bins, because again, you're paying by the pound, so it's, you know, not as expensive. Farrah, I don't know what those are. Those are overalls of some sort. I felt like they were inside out, but I passed up on those. And right off the bat here, we're not doing too bad. And you can see here in our Columbus location, like they stack the clothing. So it's always cool to go through all that. So let's take a look at some of the shoes that I sourced recently. Now this is a pair of Salomon XT Wings 3. Very good looking soles. There are 11 currently listed in this style, but 15 have sold in the last 90 days. So I've been sourcing a lot of Salomon right now, trail shoes. 'Tis the season for that. So those are going to sell probably for around 50 bucks. Next pair here is a Nike Air Tailwind. They're the model from the 1979 version, so it's just the recent run of that shoe from the late 70s. Good looking soles. They'll need to be cleaned up a little bit. These sell better new than they do pre-owned, and I might have to tidy up the midsoles a little bit, but I think I can get 30 bucks for those. And then here, a pair of No Bull. I've never seen a shoe so perforated like these trainers. It looks like a big piece of Swiss cheese. Like, look at the size of the holes when you see them. But a men's 7.5, that's a hard size to come by, and I think I can probably get, I'm gonna say around $25, maybe 30. They've got a little bit of wear on the inside heels where the rub marks were starting to become exposed a little bit, so that might devalue it a little bit, but we're not doing too bad between the shoes and the clothing. And I really didn't take a look at much of the hard goods this time around. I just didn't see anything that was that appealing. But if you total everything up in my cart right now, for an hour and a half that I was there, I've got about $235 worth of goods, which is not too bad. I like to be around $200 an hour when I source at the bins, and that's listed value. So we're not doing too bad. A little bit under that. Check this shoe out. I thought this was funny, and I thought you guys would enjoy seeing that. Don't laugh though. Balenciaga is selling a $2,000 pair of shoes that's destroyed that looks sort of similar to that. There's a market for everything, I'll tell you. So I end up leaving the bins and I head over to a retail store. But before I do that, I picked up a buddy of mine, and she came along for the ride. So we're halfway through the sourcing trip, and I have my little helper here. First thing I noticed, and I don't think this has any value. These are these little Build-A-Bear minions. I forget who this guy is. He's like the smaller one, but I usually pass them up because I don't think they have any value. But I didn't run comps, so I could have been wrong. This here, though, this could be a real nice bolo. Transformers Optimus Prime versus Megatron: The Ultimate Battle. They have little figures attached to the top, like 2 Minicon bonus pack things here. And so for $5, I'm going to take a stab at that. The comps are not that good if you run them, but that style that I have there with the 2 extra guys on top looks like it's hard to find. I think that may have come from overseas. Based on my research, it looked like those may have been, an overseas exclusive. And so even with the box damage, I'm going to probably list that for $50. Again, assuming that my research doesn't tell me that those 2 figures on the top are worth $1 million. I thought this was a Jurassic World dinosaur. It's not, so I put it in my cart, but I was doing a little bit of homework as I was checking out, and I realized that it was just a generic dinosaur. So he's in my cart now, but he's going to come out of my cart here in just a little bit. Hello there, sweet thing. She found a seal that she was in love with, and that usually happens every trip we take to every single store we go to every single time. But because I don't go to this store often, I'm really looking at a lot of the toys and a lot of things on the shelf a lot closer than I do some of the other stores that I frequent, because I see so much of it all the time. But I'm checking everything today. I'm looking for games, sealed, puzzles, anything I can find. And I can tell you, I used to do a lot more Lego than I do these days, and so pre-owned Lego, it just takes me so long to sort and put together. But this one here, this Frozen set, they've got it marked $4.99, and while I was maybe going to leave it, once I opened it and I looked and I saw that they had everything kind of sorted in bags and everything looked really organized and the instruction manual was still there, I thought to myself, what, this person probably has all of the pieces. They kept this really nice, and so I'm confident that all the pieces are there. So I'm going to take a chance on that. Whereas this Sophia set, even though there's only 38 pieces in that set, I'm not going to go through it. I'm feeling pressured because I have my young daughter here, and she's like, when are we going to go? When are we going to go? When are we going to go? So I left that set behind, even though Sophia, you could see her in there. So I don't want to deal with counting those pieces. But that other Lego set, I'm almost 100% sure that all of the pieces are intact just because of the way the person that donated it left it. So I'm willing to take a risk on that one. So I'm going to check out the racks here next because these were fresh out of the back of the store. It's a nice pair of Speedo shorts here. I mean, I passed on them. I didn't run comps. They could have had some value, but I passed in lieu of this. Now, I've sold a lot of Peter Millar summer comfort shirts. This is a size large and it is in mint condition. And so these shirts usually between $25 and $35 pre-owned, at least based on my past experience. And so because of that, even though it's probably been a year since I've sourced one, I'm going to take that one home. This is a nice Vineyard Vines shirt, but I passed on that. It was just a little bit too generic for me. But that Peter Millar summer comfort, I'm pretty confident I can get at least $25 for it. They had like 6 or 7 new racks, so I'm just kind of like burning through all of them. Maybe there's some athleisure hanging here that I could come into. I found a lot of Athleta recently, some good Lululemon. This is a Carhartt shirt here, very basic bread and butter, but it's an XL, it's a loose fit, it's a summertime shirt, it's brand new with tags, kind of checking all the boxes for me here. And that price tag on it is about what I think I can get for it, $25 based on sold comparables of that style number. So I'm gonna grab that one as well. The shirts cost, I think, $4.29 in this location, and the jeans in this location were $6.29. So we're gonna talk about jeans here in a second, but I'm just checking the rest of the racks to see if there's anything else I may have missed. I saw a lot of LuLaRoe, so somebody must have donated their entire closet here. But is Miss Me still a bolo? These are a pair of mid-rise easy boot jeans, and when I was running the comps, again, I always check for fraying, but when I was running the comps on these, they are a size 30 with an inseam 33. 4 have sold with that exact size in the last 90 days, and there are none currently listed in this style and size combination. So even though Miss Me might be a hit or miss, or at least it might not command the value that it used to, I'm going to take those based on 4 sold comps in the last 90 days for that size, because they were still in really nice condition, aside from just, a little bit of the fraying that they had at the bottom. So I'm going to take those, and again, $6.50 for them. Then one of the last things that I find in the store is not that KitchenAid. I don't even know what that was, like a chopper, but this is a 1983 Masters of the Universe thermos, and when you're outsourcing, you see lunch boxes that are always missing the thermos. This one was in excellent condition, and it is a fast seller. So condition-wise, I think I can get probably $20, maybe even $25 for that one. And again, because of the condition, like if it was in worse condition, it probably would have been maybe $10 to $15. But all in all, I mean, that's a pretty decent haul for both the outlet, which was about $230, and the retail store here, which I sourced about $150. And it's about 2.5 hours. So I'm really pleased with all the stuff.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Daddy.
My gosh, I just love that little kid. So thank you so much for tuning in, and a little housekeeping here as always. Hit that like button if you liked what you saw, or you learned something today, or if you just liked seeing little Gwenny's face. And then always consider becoming a member of the Dad Planet family by subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon so that you know every single time I upload a video to YouTube. But that is it. That's all I have for you. Brendan here, Dad Planet signing off. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video.